Well, hello everyone. It's Angela with Mystic Moon, bringing you guys your weekly forecast. So we're going to take a look and see what's going to be coming up for you this week. So really it is timeless. So anytime that you happen to run across these messages, you can just take what resonates for you and get rid of anything that doesn't. All the decks I'll be using here today will be in the description box down below, as well as this beautiful Organite. So we're going to actually use the female archetypes of the tarot deck. So feminine energy. So all the queens, the Empress, and the High Priestess to get our messages for this week. So let's get started. It looks like it's kind of dark with that candle right there. So let me just move that. See how it instantly brightened up? I don't know what's up with that. Okay, let's get into it, you guys. We're going to see what is the Queen of Wands energy for you this week. How will you be on fire this week? Because Queen of Wands is, of course, that fire sign energy. It's ruled by the sign of Aries. Let's see how we're going to be on fire. All right, let's do it. How are my viewers going to be on fire this week with the Queen of Wands energy? Ooh, we have release, you guys. Look at this. That's fantastic. So number 27, that of course is condensed down to the number 9. So some of you guys are basically ready to cycle something out. You're done. So you're on fire. You feel very convicted about it this week. You really don't have any doubts. You know that it's time to release something in order to empower yourself. It may even be that you're being underpaid. You're doing something that you don't want to be doing for a living. And so you are shifting into embracing your purpose, your mission, who you are, what you're meant to do, your talents, all of the above. So this is definitely a very empowering energy. So let's go ahead and continue and see what else. How else are you on fire this week? Let's look at this energy. Ooh, look at this, you guys. We have messages. So you've gotten the message from the universe is what I'm getting with that. So you've obtained some sort of wisdom. It could be something that spirit is guiding you to see. It could be a message that you actually received from a person or in a book, something that you read. But whatever this is, basically, you know that it is time to basically, I don't know why I keep saying that over and over again, to shift into a more powerful version of yourself. So it could be releasing a person, releasing an addiction, releasing a situation that just doesn't serve you, or releasing even fear. So that way you can move forward in life fearless. You can see all of those butterflies there, and that really is just beautiful energy of releasing. So I just feel like it is time. You're going to be on fire. So let's go ahead and get some details from the tarot and see what this all might entail. What is the energy here of releasing something? It's like an unstoppable energy this week for you. Okay, so we have the 5 of Cups. You no longer want to be sad and depressed about something. There could have been a situation in your life that's been disappointing. 5 of Cups usually indicates where we feel kind of melancholy and sad over something. We're just disappointed with something that just didn't work out the way that we thought. It might be that we're tired of being depressed. We're tired of feeling down. We're tired of, like I said, it could be many things, being underpaid, being talked to a certain way, undervalued. Maybe we're just undervaluing ourselves. Maybe there's someone around us that just does nothing but cause, or whatever, we're allowing this person to cause grief in our lives. There's nothing that's ever changing that's positive. So we're tired of crying about it. We're tired of being sad about this. And so we realize that the only way that this is going to change is if we take action and do something about it. So you have the Queen of Wands on your side this week when it comes to this situation. And you will be able to clear whatever this crap is, whatever is no longer serving you, whatever is making you feel like, I guess, I don't know why I want to say, whatever's making you feel like dirt. I don't know why. All right, let's see what else. Okay, so we do have the Hierophant. That's Taurus energy. I feel like this has something to do with your belief system. Maybe you didn't believe for a long time that you could do something, that you deserved better. that you couldn't make this choice. Also, too, what I want to say is that there are certain people on this planet that are really toxic and unhealthy and manipulative, and they'll try to convince you that what you want is unrealistic, or somehow you speaking your truth is a bad thing. So I feel like there could be a manipulative person or just a situation that's intact in your life where you're constantly feeling like, your internal system and your heart space and your feelings are telling you that something is off, something doesn't feel right, but yet this person continuously acts like everything's okay, or they just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. And so rather than seeing them as someone that needs to change, we realize that we need to make that choice for ourselves. So the Hierophant to me is our belief system. What we believe in about ourselves is usually what kind of will show up in our lives, unfortunately, until we learn that lesson, until we master that lesson, until we break free from that and just say, you know what, actually, I'm not dealing with this crap anymore. I'm out. Okay. So that's an amazing energy I feel for you guys this week. So you guys can do it. Taurus can, of course, be our values. It could be, it's ruled by Venus. So it could be something to do with your romantic life, your love life, or it could even just be the things that you value when it comes to money and finances and work. So again, our situations are not going to change until we take that opportunity to take a step forward into the unknown and actually make that change. So I feel like with it being under the Queen of Wands this week, this is a you can do it energy. Oh, we have the Lovers here. So Gemini's energy. This is about making a choice, because that's really what the Lovers is all about, is making a choice. It may be that you do want to hold on to something because, you have a lot of feelings for someone, but these feelings are being mirrored with the Five of Cups. It's sadness. It's depression. It's gloomy. It's not good. And so as much as we love someone and as much a time that we've invested in a situation, it doesn't matter. That could even be the workplace too. We don't want to leave because, we've put so much time and effort and dedication into it. At the end of the day, you guys, though, this is telling us that we do have to make a decision. And I feel with this, the way it's coming through here, we need to make a head over heart decision. If our heart makes this decision, we'll continue to hang on. You can see she's hanging on to somebody. She doesn't look very happy. She looks very sad, actually. She looks very alone and dissatisfied. And what is she hugging there? It looks like a statue. Somebody that's cold, something that's not giving anything back. So we might believe a certain thing about a person, place, or situation, but at the end of the day, it's like we've got to make a choice that makes sense for us. We have to make a choice that stops leading to this sadness and this heartbreak. And I'm getting here that you guys can absolutely do that this week. So you're getting the message loud and clear from your higher self, maybe even perhaps this reading, that it is time to give something up that is just causing nothing but sadness and grief in your life. And the Five of Cups may have to do with somebody from your past, right? So you're the Queen of Wands this week. You can absolutely do this. You have what it takes. You can release this particular cycle. So that's beautiful messages coming through to kick off this reading. So now we're going to go into the Queen of Cups energy. So the Queen of Cups is about what emotions need to be embraced for healing purposes. Let's look at this. What emotions need to be embraced for healing purposes this week? The Queen of Cups is ruled by the sign of Cancer. Oh, wow. We have surrender. So we had release and now we have surrender. So I feel like this is probably connected. A lot of you guys with your emotions, you have some emotional investment in whatever this big choice is for you. You feel very strongly about it, of course, but it basically is saying here, it is time. And I feel like with that 2 + 6 energy, that's the number 8. Something's kind of keeps coming back. It keeps coming back around. And sometimes we can mistake that for, well, it keeps coming back around because maybe this is something I need to continue to hang on to. But sometimes we don't understand because spirit kind of it works in riddles sometimes. Maybe it's coming back around because you still haven't learned the lesson. You still haven't released yourself or surrendered something. So you're being given another opportunity to take a look at it with a fresh set of eyes or a new mindset to be able to hopefully release what is just not serving. Okay. So it's going to be different for everybody, but that's what we're seeing here. All right, let's see what else. What else do we need to know here? Oh, wow. Look at the Saint Joan of Arc, conviction. Yes. I mean, to me, this is just Queen of Wands. So you are in a way, not that there's anything wrong with the Queen of Cups, but I do feel because the Five of Cups was here, this is kind of the lower vibrational version of the Queen of Cups. This is her shadow side where she could become quite depressed, maybe even codependent on a situation or person. So the Queen of Wands is asking you to step into that power this week and really rise to the occasion of surrendering something that's causing pain, and be really convicted also in that choice. So sometimes we will make choices, but we're not like convicted in that choice. So obviously do it when you're ready. Don't do it just because this reading's, you know, suggesting that, or because your friends are saying that you need to do that. I think all of those things mean well, but we're not really going to do something until we're ready to do it. So I feel like once you feel convicted, once you feel like you've stepped into your Queen of Wands power, you guys are going to be able to release or surrender whatever this situation may be. So let's go ahead and get some tarot on that. We have the Temperance. That's really beautiful. This is Sagittarius energy. This, of course, is about expansion. That's what Sagittarius is all about, expanding your horizons. So the only thing that's really going to change in your life is if we let something go and surrender what isn't working, so we can embrace what is meant for us and what will work for us in a better way. So Temperance is about healing, and it's also about divine timing. So I feel like if something is meant for you, when you surrender, it's kind of like a bird. If you release that bird and it comes back to you, it's yours. And if you don't, you know, maybe that's saying something. So we do need to be willing to be fearless and release something. Maybe we need to release it. We need to give something time. We need to give ourselves time to heal. We need to let something balance out. And maybe in divine timing, this will come back around with that 8 energy here. But for the meantime, I feel like this is Spirit's way of telling us that it's in our best interest right now to, instead of continuously emotionally invest and get nothing out of that, or to feel like crappy or crummy about something. Again, this doesn't have to be about a person. This could be about a job, a friendship, just the way that you treat yourself or how you're allowing yourself to be treated. There needs to be maybe a timeout, taking a step back from something, giving some breathing space and giving some room for healing, okay? Or even that closure. Oops, we have the Four of Cups. So of course, you guys, the Four of Cups here is something that we're not seeing. So yeah, traditionally when someone sees this card, they're going to say, oh, it's rejection. You know, somebody's just not feeling something. Yes, of course, that's what that card means. But I'm getting, the first message I'm getting for the Four of Cups is that there is something that Spirit is trying to give to you. Remember that message that came through originally? The Spirit is showing you something. And it doesn't really depict it very well in this card, but it does tell me here that, you know, it shows a man who there's a cup coming out of the sky, and that is from the divine. That's the divine trying to get our attention or offer us something, and we're just like, I don't want it. It's not what I asked for. It doesn't seem appealing to me. So we might be saying no, but Spirit is continuously coming back around with this message and saying yes, right? Yes, it's time to surrender to this. It's time to surrender to this guidance, this message, or surrendering a situation or a person that isn't meeting your needs, okay? This could also be that we just feel kind of blah, and we just feel like our life just doesn't really have a lot of meaning. We feel bored, we feel dissatisfied, we feel restless. We're just like, ugh, you know, I'm just not feeling it. I'm not feeling anything. So what Spirit is asking us to do is to make some sort of a change then. And it might be a drastic change. It might be something where we're being asked to step outside of our comfort zone, expand our horizons, do something different, maybe learn a new skill, take a class, join a community, something that's going to shake things up in your life. Because, you know, if we just kind of continue to sit in that energy, 5 of Cups, 4 of Cups, we're just going to kind of wallow in it. And we can do that, of course, but it's not really going to get us anywhere. It's just going to make us feel crappier. And Spirit's saying we must break out of that cycle. And you do have the Queen of Wands here today or this week to break your ass out of that. So the card that fell on the floor was the Chariot. This is Cancer's energy. So it's interesting that we have 2 Cancerian energies coming through here. So we might want to just retreat into our shell and just kind of lick our wounds and just kind of stay safe in our house and not do anything and not live life. Spirit's saying, no. You're supposed to be in the chariot of you're supposed to be in the driver's seat of your life. This is not a time to be passive. This is not a time for you to just kind of sit back and let Spirit take the reins. I feel like this is a co-creation process here. And that's why the Chariot has a dark and a white horse, because both of these particular horses need to be on board, and they need to work well with one another in order to get that chariot to move. So there needs to be some sort of balance here. And that Temperance, of course, is the balance within ourselves. We need to kind of compromise here. We need to compromise with life. You know how sometimes we want advice, but then someone gives us advice and we're just kind of like, no, I don't want to do that. No. We just keep saying, no. At some point, we're going to have to compromise, and we are being asked to do that. So we may want to make a lot of excuses. We may want to stay stuck. We may want to stay at home and stay in bed and not get out and overeat and do all this other crap to kind of self-regulate and soothe ourselves. But Spirit's saying, it's not a time for that. It's time for you to be the Queen of Wands. So we're being asked to pull out of the shadow aspect of the Queen of Cups and go into the light aspects of the badass Queen of Wands in order to pull ourselves out of some kind of situation. Don't know what that is for everybody, but hope that resonates. Okay. So that's going to be great for healing purposes. That's the Queen of Cups energy. So now we're going to go into the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords is what mental clarity and epiphanies are coming through for you. So what will be crystal clear? What will you just know this week? Okay. Queen of Swords is ruled by the sign Libra. Oh, I love that. Self-love. Number 6. 6, of course, is a number of harmony, feeling really good, positive movement forward. So for me, if we can balance out, making sure that we're taking care of ourselves. So of course, you've got people that, they're only concerned with themselves. They're not really focused on anyone else but themselves. That can be a beautiful thing, but that can also become imbalanced. So we're not being asked to be in balance. The Libra energy is basically telling or reminding us, let's be balanced about it. But maybe we've been pouring all of our just blood, sweat, and tears and love into a person or a situation. It's time for us to give a little bit back to ourselves this week. So I feel like this is clarity that's coming to you, the viewer, that's telling you that you need to take some time for you. You might need to take a time out. You might need to take care of lick your wounds, take care of yourself, and then resume. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. That might be what you need to do in order to rebalance. Okay? Okay, so we have divine creation, and that's really beautiful because I feel like this is Spirit's reminder to you that you are a divine creation. Also, anybody that's been created, we all come from that same light. But the thing is, as we have experiences, as we live, as we experience traumas and different things like that, that can definitely create a lot of shadow. We can get lost, a lot of addictions, things like that. So we all come from the same source, but unfortunately, life has a way of either hindering you or blessing you, and not everybody has been blessed, unfortunately. We can all sit here and say, we've all had the same opportunities. That's a bunch of bullshit. It's just not true. We can say, everybody's a good person deep down, to a point, so I'm not going to sit here and argue all of these points. It's just that anything in balance, okay? So you can let your life and all the things that you've gone through, all your shadows and different things, and just as a personal choice, right? We can tap into that strength side of ourselves and survive it and try to make the best of situations, or we can let the shadow swallow us and we can become bad people and do all kinds of terrible things on this planet. So I feel like it's just Spirit's way of basically saying that it's about analyzing people and analyzing ourselves and realizing that if you are being mistreated, or if you are experiencing a lot of negativity or a lot of bad things happening to you, it's not to say, you just need to get balanced. That's why it's happening to you. Your vibration isn't high enough. Fuck that. That to me is just some spiritual bypass crap. This is just telling me here, it's just all in the way that we're going to choose to show up, with that feeling, with that situation. Some of us might enter into, therapy. Some of us might, connect with the divine and work closely, like with a religion or a certain philosophy. Some of us might turn to physical exercise or maybe helping other people or volunteering or whatever that is. Or again, there's the dark side that can suck us in and ruin everything. So I just feel like this is a reminder here that in a way, life is what you make it. And it's kind of I don't even know if I don't want to even use the word bittersweet. There ain't nothing sweet about that, actually. If you've been dealt some crappy cards in life, it's really, really difficult to see the silver lining. But, we all come to a point where we're either going to choose to live and survive. And I feel like that's what that reminder is this week. So it's just getting clarity on the self. What kind of a life do you want to lead despite the experiences or the people that may have harmed you or hurt you? And how are you going to show up for yourself? And also, this is about not changing who you are just because there's been a few or a lot of bad seeds or apples in your life. You know, you can learn from those experiences and be more discerning moving forward and have better boundaries. But it's not about allowing anyone to kill your giving, kind, loving spirit. So I feel like there's some kind of clarity or balance within the way that we're viewing ourselves, viewing life, and also viewing others this week. So a lot of clarity around that. Very interesting. All right, let's get some tarot on that. With the King of Wands. Very cool. So the King of Wands is Leo's energy. The King of Wands to me in tarot, it's going to be different for every tarot reader out there. This is the one king that has lived his life. He has had a lot of experiences and he is now seasoned. He has mastered the art of basically living. Okay. He has a history. But his history and what he's gone through and what he's learned and how he has learned to survive and thrive past all of his adversities, things like that, is what makes him the king. So I feel like there's a special message for you. And of course, to me, you know, with Christianity, this could be like the baby Jesus, which is, you know, the king. I feel like there's this king energy here for you. It's kind of like a message of hope, basically, a message of hope. You know, and the teachings of Jesus are very much about unconditional love, you know, loving your enemy. It doesn't mean that you're going to let your enemy mistreat you and hurt you. It just means that, I can't remember that saying. It's something like, you know, bless them, Father, for they don't know what they do, something like that. It's like understanding humanity and understanding why people operate at a certain level and not taking it so personally. You don't have to take their crap, but it means that you are looking at, you're analyzing, basically. You're analyzing things from a certain perspective, and you're not letting it ruin you, but you're not letting it taint you to the point where you're no longer going to show up and love life and experience the beauty in life. But you're also not going to be naive to put yourself in situations where you could possibly, you know, be hurt or deal with someone that doesn't have the best intentions in mind for you. So there's something about balancing the way that you view humanity this week. I don't know what that means for someone out there, but it's definitely an art form. Okay. It's not easy. We have Judgment. Yeah. Okay. Pluto's energy. Scorpio, this is about, some of you guys might have like a north node in Scorpio. I do. So I understand this very well. A lot of your life and a lot of your experiences, you will feel many deaths throughout your life. And it doesn't mean physical deaths necessarily, but you will go through a lot of transformation through endings, very powerful transformations. And you will, again, you'll be met with the question of, are you going to let this kill you, or are you going to survive from it? What are you going to do? Right? So it's like, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger kind of energy. So for me, I feel like if you guys are resonating with this so far, you guys have gone through a lot of shit. Just like this King of Wands, you've gone through a lot, but it's a part of your contract just with yourself in this life to be a survivor, and maybe even perhaps to help other people that have gone through similar things, you know, and really dedicating more of your time in that rather than focusing on all of the upsets, trying to turn it around, you know, making all that pain matter. That's one of my favorite quotes. So, and we have the Page of Swords. Yeah, Page of Swords is about analyzing. Really think about, let's think about this. Let's really think about it. Think about it. When someone, let's just say someone makes a judgment. This is a really great example. Okay. And I've dealt with a lot of judgment in my life because I am a Sagittarius. Okay. I'm like triple Sag. I've got Sun Sag, rising Sag, and Mercury Sag. So I'm really Sagittarius. I live out loud. I don't like restrictions. I love freedom. Okay. I'm very outspoken as well. So I've always been that kind of person that's just been, you know, overly honest, you know, of course, to a fault, like sharing things with people that I shouldn't have shared at all, because, you know, they're going to use it against you sort of thing, or make a judgment against you. Because I came into this life, I feel just like this kind of la-di-da-di-da, just like everyone's the same. Everyone must be the same as me. Everybody, no one is like looking at me and making a judgment on what I'm wearing or my past or anything that I've gone through. You know, we're all just, yeah, it's all good, baby. No. I've had to learn the hard way that there are certain people out there that if they and that's not saying that I've done all my shadow work or anything like that, because in other areas I had to learn things too. But what I'm trying to say is that people that judge you and people that have a problem with the way that you're living or the way that you think or, you know, all this other crap condemning you, and it's so funny, cast those stones. Ooh, it's like your side of the street ain't clean. I don't even know what the hell you're thinking, even casting things my way, but whatever. But that just goes to show you where someone's at just with themselves. They're so it's just like they haven't been awakened yet. They haven't done that work. They don't know who they are. They're very afraid. There's a lot of fear behind someone that casts a lot of judgments on other people. So yeah, I feel like Spirit is basically telling you on your journey, think about it, because the Queen of Swords can get a bad rap. She can turn into a little bit of a hard ass. She can turn into, I'm never going to trust anyone ever again. I'm going to give you the sword every time. I'm going to cut everyone out of my life. So it can become imbalanced, the Queen of Swords. That's the shadow side of the Queen of Swords. But the Queen of Swords in her power in the light is very, or just, should I say balanced, is someone that will say yes to some things and say no to other things. She doesn't really care what you think. She knows what's right for her. She has integrity, and that's what she bases her life choices on, is her values. And it's not in a selfish way. It's because she knows who she is, because she's gone through it. She's been there, done that. And if something comes to her and she's just like, you know what, this actually, I'm trusting my intuition on this. I'm kind of feeling like this isn't right for me. We're not on the same page. She'll skip the bullshit because she's already learned that lesson. That's who the Queen of Swords is in her balanced energy. So I feel like the mental clarity and epiphanies that are coming through this week is that life's tough. People can sometimes suck, but also there's some great experiences here while you're here. Life is full of happiness and wonderful things too, but everything in balance is really where the sweet spot is. So I don't know what that means for someone, but that's what we have. Okay. So now we're going to move on into the Queen of Coins. This right here is Capricorn's energy. So let's see. This is about how will you value yourself more and create new opportunities for the future. Let's take a look. I love it. She's got the lion with her. So I just feel that Leo vibe. King of Wands. Oh my gosh, I love this. And you know what? The Leo's energy, and I feel like that's why it's coming up here in this card, is all about play and having fun and pleasure. It's not all that sign's about, but that really is it. So we have the 1 + 8 again, so another 9. I feel like 9s are like we're on the brink of this completion of this lesson or this cycle. So this is basically Spirit's way of saying, do not forget to have fun while you're here. So it's like this place called Earth, it's like school. Okay, it's a huge classroom, but don't forget to have a good time too. I think sometimes people that are on a spiritual journey, or, you know, you're trying to be very mindful, sometimes we tend to get in our heads and we don't allow ourselves to do certain things because we're afraid that we're going to, like, let's just say you're on a strict diet and you don't give yourself, you go to like a carnival and you're like, oh my God, I've been so good all month, whatever. I don't think I can eat that caramel apple. Why not? Life is too short. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. I highly doubt that one thing, I guess unless you have a food addiction, but for the majority, letting yourself have that treat isn't going to ruin everything. So it is, again, it's about moderation and everything in balance. And so I feel like when it comes to enjoying our lives, we do have to allow ourselves to enjoy ourselves in the physical. And sometimes physical pleasure, wow. And you'll have people in certain philosophies, which I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I feel like it can be a little on the side of like a human pleasure is just you know, it's not lasting, or it doesn't lead to anything. It's not true enlightenment or whatever. Again, what fun would it be here living on this planet, not having a human experience too? So I'm all about learning and being enlightened and understanding, you know, the, just like all the matrix and all these things, these illusions of life, sure, but I'm also here to enjoy things too. So I feel like don't forget to do that kind of thing, you know. So make sure to value yourself and to treat yourself too while you're here. Okay, let's go ahead and get another message. We have premonitions. Okay. So it may be, you guys, that when it comes to what you're supposed to be doing for either your work or the kind of life that you're living, are you happy? Are you having pleasure? We have premonitions coming through. So it's about using your intuition and using the messages that are coming to you. But we've got this owl here. So I feel like, yes, that owl is a messenger from spirit, but it's also your intuition. So you're getting some sort of premonitions as to what is going to bring you more joy. And you're supposed to take action steps towards that in the physical world. It's not enough to just dream about it, you guys. We actually have to take some action steps towards our goals. So that's what's coming through this week. We have the Ten of Swords. Interesting. Ten of Swords is definitely a painful card, but it does talk about a cycle basically being over. Like there's nothing more to be derived from something. If you're not feeling pleasure and you're not happy, it doesn't mean like all of your experiences have to give you pleasure and happiness. But if you feel nothing but pain, that is an indication, you guys, that something is off, something is amiss, something needs to be looked at, something needs to be examined. And what I'm getting in this situation, whatever it is this week, there's something that's ending. There is something that we do need to walk away from because it's very, very painful. And the pain has to stop because it's actually what we're doing. Pleasure centers, I'm getting that here. There's some kind of a, where we might be addicted to the pain. Yeah, because Capricorn is connected to the devil in tarot. So it might be that we're toxically tied to a painful situation, but we're mistaking it as love. So we could be talking about a trauma bond, okay, with a friend, lover, something. There could be like a trauma bond where we're in extreme highs and extreme lows. The pleasure centers are completely just, they're discombobulated. Is that discombobulated? Yeah, they're just like, they're skewed. And Spirit's basically saying that we got to find a way to pull these swords out and disconnect from whatever this is that is basically interrupting our pleasure center. Interesting. With the Eight of Wands. Yeah, Eight of Wands is go. Eight of Wands means it's time to move. It's time to move on this. It's also communication. So I feel like our higher selves are telling us this. We might be getting messages about something to leave, and Spirit is basically saying it's time to move. It's time to travel beyond this situation. So I feel like some of you guys might be wondering whether or not you should make a move in your career, or just make a move, just like you're wanting to move out of your town or out of your current living situation. And I'm getting the answer is yes, it is time to make this move. This physical move, it has to be made. And now we have the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is Sagittarius energy. It's funny because there's a lot of them that have the Lion here. Maybe all of the fire cards have the Lion, but that's not fire. Yeah, that's Earth. But Sagittarius energy again. This Knight of Wands is the traveler. He travels. So the fact that we have the Eight of Wands with this Knight of Wands does tell me that it's time for you guys to expand your horizons. It's time for you to move. It's time for you to move into a new job, a new living situation, a new career, maybe even just move away from someone, because it is time for you to be independent and on your own, or just broaden your horizons, because there's something about life has something to offer you. Your pleasure is not over in this life. There's something that's going to make you much happier and experience more pleasure than pain, but you won't ever experience that unless you actually physically make some sort of a move. That's what I'm getting here today, you guys. So if you value yourself more, you will make some sort of physical move to get out of a situation or in something that just doesn't feel right for you, or is just downright painful. And you have this premonition. So whatever you are thinking about, how your life could be, that's exactly how it's going to be. So definitely go for it, because you're seeing it very clearly. Okay. Now we're going to go into the Empress energy here, which is Taurus and Libra because it's ruled by Venus. And we are going to take a look and see what self-care routines will provide a sense of peace and happiness. All right, let's look at this. Okay, so we have blossoming. I feel like being outside actually in the earth because we have flower moon, right? Could even be like using certain essential oils or even like flower, I think it's called flower Bach remedies. It's like flower essences, floral essences. You can usually find them in like health food stores. This could be something significant. We also have 3 + 3, which is 6 again, or 333. We can be seeing that. It's Spirit's way of basically saying this would bring a lot of harmony, or this would bring like integration or something. But yeah, this is about being in nature. Maybe gardening. This would be a really great self-care routine, or just being in nature, visiting a botanical garden, maybe even having fresh floral scents around you, maybe using certain essential oils specifically that have flower, like their floral scents, okay? Like lavender. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. Very, what is it? Just relaxing. Every time I smell lavender, I'm thinking about like a day spa, getting a freaking massage, you know, that just immediately puts me there. I think one of my favorite just flowers of all time is called tuberose. Smells so good. Gardenia. I have this white gardenia candle burning over here that you guys can't even see, but it smells so good. Oh my gosh. So I'm a huge floral. I used to actually work in a flower shop, and you know, when you work with a lot of flowers, you realize that, oh, they're so beautiful, but there's no freaking smell. You know what I mean? So it's pretty amazing when you can see a flower and it's beautiful and it has a beautiful scent too. So I just feel like there's something about being in nature, a flower, maybe going even on a hike, a nature walk or something. This would be very, very good for self-care for you guys, for sure. All right, let's go ahead and see what else. Wow, that's a pretty crazy card. Look at this. Saint Sebastian. We have resilience. You are a survivor. Okay, you've taken a lot of crap. To me, this is like the Nine of Wands. This is the wounded warrior. You've taken a lot of heat. You've taken a lot of hits, basically, but it hasn't killed you. He's still standing. He's still thriving. And he's still moving forward. So I just feel like your self-care is just all about you giving yourself permission to grow. You forgiving yourself also too. That's a form of self-care and love. But also maybe just doing things that are going to bring peace and tranquility into your life. Maybe spending some time by a body of water. She's playing a violin, I think that's a violin. Maybe even learning how to play a musical instrument, or spending time listening to instrumental music that doesn't have a lot of words, especially if words or certain types of songs or genres are bringing you back to a certain memory that makes you very sad and depressed. It might be instrumentals could be very good, or healing. Maybe putting on like spa radio or spiritual, you know, maybe like Indian flute or violin, classical, something like that would be very good for your self-care, because it's going to soothe your soul. So it's all about your senses, what you're hearing and what you're smelling and what you're feeling. Maybe being out in nature, in the water, or your feet in the ground, or just like in your garden would be very healing. Oh, and we have the Two of Cups. That's beautiful. So to me, it's about the relationship that you have with yourself, right? A lot of times we feel like, oh gosh, you know, I just want somebody to love me. I want somebody to romance me. But I feel like this is Spirit's way of basically saying, have you ever romanced yourself? Let's go ahead and start with that relationship. Let's get into that vibration. If you really want to bring in someone to mirror that energy, start treating yourself that way. Start doing, maybe buying yourself some flowers. I just got that too. All right, let's see. We have Seven of Wands. Yeah, Seven of Wands means you have definitely fought, right? I love that rabbit here. I think it's next weekend. Yeah, next weekend is actually Easter. And of course, you know, we just spring equinox. We just, you know, have that literally. So bunny rabbits, things like that. Also, the bunny rabbit is with the Empress, always. So there's something about fertility. There's something about femininity. Being in your garden. That's really actually the Empress is in her garden. So there's something about self-care. doing something with Mother Earth, doing something in nature. This is really going to be healing. And the Seven of Wands is, of course, like we have our defenses up. We feel very stressed out. We feel like we have to be on guard. I feel like you're giving yourself permission to relax and to pull yourself out of a stress, like a stressful situation. And we have the Star. That's fantastic. That's Aquarius energy. The Star is healing. So I love that. The Star is renewed hope and faith. This is also, the stars are aligning for you, and Spirit is guiding you in your endeavors. So I feel like, take this advice. It's not just this week, but from here on out, to make sure that the relationship that you have with yourself, that mirrors what you're looking for either in another person. And even if you're not looking for romance, maybe you're fine being single, you don't necessarily want anyone right now, or maybe you're already taken, you're in a relationship. This still applies, because we definitely want to show up for ourselves in the same way that we kind of expect other people to show up for us. So if we're constantly giving from an empty cup, like we're pouring everything into everyone else, that could be friends, family members, that could even be job situations. We have to make sure that we're balanced in those areas, because if we're not, people will either get used to just taking and not having to give anything back because you don't expect anything. And then you're going to wonder why you're kind of always sitting there being undervalued. So Spirit says you must value yourself. That's the self-care this week. Okay. All right, you guys, we're going to end it with the High Priestess now. So the High Priestess, of course, is ruled by the moon, and the moon is ruled by Cancer as well as Pisces in tarot. Okay, so let's see what the energy is for what hidden revelations are going to come to light for you this week. I mean, I feel like so far there's a lot of things that have already come to light, but let's get some specifics. We have resilience. Fantastic. So that to me looks like the 10 of Wands, basically. We've been through a lot. Keeps coming up in the reading, okay? So 2 + 1, that's 3. I just feel like something is coming, like there's something that's being integrated within. You know, everything that you've gone through, it all means something. It's for a reason. So it is about kind of wearing your crown with honor. And she has black roses. And I consider black roses are connected to death, illness, and things that are of a shadowy nature. So I feel like you are wearing your crown proudly of the things that you've gone through. And instead of letting it get you down, you're going to survive. You're going to be resilient. You're going to bounce back. That's amazing. So the hidden revelation that's coming to you this week is that you're stronger than you realized. And it may be that other people start to recognize that you're stronger than they even realized. So that's important this week. And we have collective unconscious. So to me, of course, it's like the collective consciousness, right? Well, when people are unconscious, that just means they're not awake. At least that's how I am interpreting this message. They're just not awake. And that really coincides with the message that came through, that we all come into this life with like the same light, but what our experiences will either dim it and take us into the shadows and keep us in the shadows, or we will bounce back and be strong and resilient and survive and still thrive either in the light or be somewhere in the middle, right? So this is beautiful. So I feel like that's the hidden revelation, is that, we can't, let's not waste any more time. I see that time. Focusing on things we can't necessarily change. And you know what you can't really change is people. People are going to think what they're going to think, and they're going to be how they want to be, because it's where they're at right now in their awakening. So if someone is not awake, there's not an amount of giving or loving or caretaking or anything that you can do to change that situation around. Now, you can do those things to aid people, to be helpful and things like that. But if you're expecting someone to just suddenly give you what you want, or suddenly just realize things, it doesn't really happen that way. So I feel like our hidden revelation this week is to no longer waste time, especially on people that are breaking our hearts. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean that you just have to say, I'm done with this person, cut them out, I hate them, anything like that. You can walk away with love in your heart, wish them well, but also know that you need peace. Okay. So that's a beautiful thing. So I feel like it's just saying it's time. It's time to cut away and maybe have some distance from people that are too like on a level where it's just like there's nothing but pain, there's nothing but dysfunction, there's nothing but toxicity. There's lots of people that I still love very much and have a lot of love in my heart for them, but they're not in my life. Okay. And there's a reason for it. And they probably feel the same for me. So just because you're in a separation with someone or just because it won't work doesn't mean that there's hate, doesn't mean that it could never be. It just means in this moment, I'm at this time, we have to decide to step away and maybe perhaps we can come back together at a later date when we're more conscious of ourselves. Because if someone can't see themselves and if someone cannot take responsibility, it ain't gonna work. All right, it ain't gonna work. Page of Coins, love this. So the Page of Coins, of course, is just the energy of Earth. Let's plant new seeds. So instead of worrying about or focusing on things that we can't change, I mean, we can't really even go back in time and change anything. We can learn from things from the past. This is one of the reasons that I do a lot of readings on past connections, because we can learn so much from those encounters, right? But of course, I mean, we do have to continue to plant new seeds and show up for ourselves in the present moment. We absolutely have to do that. So that I feel is another hidden revelation this week that we need to keep showing up for life today. We have the Fool. Yep, it's about starting fresh, starting new. Pan. We're going to talk about enjoyment, right? And I think, what was the word? What was the word that came through here? I think it was, I can't see it now. I think it was pleasure. That's what the word, that's Pan. Pan is pleasure, okay? This is ruled by Aquarius energy, Uranus energy. And Uranus, the planet, is all about freedom. We are breaking free from anything that is restricting us. So I love that this is actually one of our final messages. It's time to hit the restart button. It's time to take a risk and jump off of not literally a cliff, but jump into a new experience and plant new seeds. So that's the revelation that's coming through. Last one, we have the Ace of Coins, and I love it because the page is the one that takes the coin and puts it into the ground and plants something new, plants the seed. So this absolutely is a confirmation from your higher self that it is time for you to plant a new seed in your life. And whatever that means for you guys out there, we are being asked to start a new cycle. Take a new risk. It's the only way things are going to change, because we can't go back in time. We can't necessarily change certain circumstances when it comes to other people, but what we can change is what we're doing and how we're participating with our life. That we can do. Okay. So anyways, you guys, that's what I have for you this week. I really hope that you enjoyed these messages, and thanks so much for watching. You guys take care. Bye-bye.